Hi dear student, today's topic is simple equation. You know, in previous chap class, algebraic expression. Algebraic expression is completely different from simple equation. So, what we know, let a short review of what we know in previous class. You are aware about a word variable. The word variable means something that can vary. Is that change? A variable takes on different numerical values. Its value is not fixed. Variables are denoted usually by letters of the alphabet, such as X, Y, Z, L, M, N, P, Q, R, A, B, C, etc. From variables, we form expressions. In chapter Algebra of class 6, we have studied about algebraic expressions or algebraic expressions we have studied in previous class. The expressions are formed by performing operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division on the variables. From x, we form the expression 4x plus 5. For this, first we multiply 4x plus 5. For this, first we multiplied x by 4, then added 5 to the product 4x plus 5. Algebraic, it is algebraic expression. It is algebraic expression. Okay. Now similarly, from y, we form the expression 10y minus 20. Y is multiplied by 10 and 20 is subtracted from the product. Okay. The value of an expression thus formed depend upon the chosen value of variable. What is the value of it at x is equal to 1? The value of this expression is completely depend on the value of variable chosen. If you choose value of x at x is 1, then what will be the value of this? Replace x by 1. 4 into 1 plus 5. 4 plus 5 is equal to what? 9. Okay. Now examples of algebraic expressions. First, 2x plus 3 y plus 5. Second, x plus 2 3 x upon 2 plus 3 4 3x plus 3y upon 7 plus 9. So all these are the example of algebraic expressions. The value of these expressions completely depend on value of variables what you choose. Because of x and y are variables, it can assign any value. So if you choose x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 1, then value of first expression is equal to 2x plus 3y plus 5 is equal to what? replace x by 0 and y by 1 plus 5. So 0 plus 3 plus 5. So 3 plus 5 is equal to what? 8. Now second, x plus 2. If you choose value of x is 0 and y is equal to 1, so y is absent here. So 0 plus 2 is equal to 2. 3 x upon 2 plus 3. So 0 upon 2 plus 3. Value of this will be 0 plus 3, 8, 3. Okay. If you choose x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 0, then the value of these expressions will be changed. So the value of expressions completely change when you choose different value of the variable. I want to tell you about the difference between algebraic expression and equation. To understand simple equation, let's see the video.
Covered in this lesson are introduction, equations, making an equation, solving an equation, simple equations. What are they and where do we use them? So to understand them, let us look at an example from our day-to-day life. Let's say that this is your elder brother and your elder brother had some number of toffees and you also had some number of toffees. Okay. Now let's say that your elder brother had some number of toffees and he gave two toffees to you. Like initially you didn't have any toffee, but since you also wanted them, so your elder brother gave you two toffees, right? And now what we see that he has six toffees. So presently he has six toffees and presently you have two toffees. Now, if I ask you that how many toffees your elder brother had earlier before giving it to you, now it is a pretty simple question, or it is a very simple problem, and you can solve it very easily. You might say that okay, that's pretty easy. He must have had eight. Two he had given it to me, so now he has six. Now this sounds simple, but for a lot of cases where we deal with bigger numbers, where we deal with more complicated situations, things are not that simple. So in this case, I'll tell you what is the right approach to find the result. So let us assume that your elder brother earlier had X number of chocolates or X number of toffees. Now he gave two out of them to you. So that means he lost two toffees because he gave those two toffees to you. So how many he should have now? He should have X minus 2. So how many actually he has now? He has 6. So basically this is a relationship which will give you, that is the value of X will actually give you the number of chocolates that your elder brother had. And this equation is a simple equation. X minus 2 is equal to 6. This is a simple equation. This is called an equation. Let us look at more examples. Let's say that these are two friends and they got their scorecard. So their exams are over, results are out, and they got their scorecard. And it is seen that the girl scored 2 marks more than twice the marks scored by the boy. Complicated? Not really. Let us assume that the boy scored X because we really do not know how much did the boy score. Let us assume that he scored X. So how much did the girl score? Now as I said that the girl scored 2 marks more than twice the marks scored by the boy. So twice the marks of boy, which is 2x plus 2. That is the score of the girl, right? And now let's say that we already know that how much the girl scored. Let's say the girl had actually scored 20. So this girl had scored 20 marks. So we know this as a matter of fact. Maybe the teacher had told us that, that the girl had scored 20 marks, but we really didn't know how much did the boy score. So how do we find how much did the boy score? By finding the value of x, because x is nothing but the score of the boy. So how would your equation look like? Your equation would be something like this. 2x plus 2 is equal to 20, because 2x plus 2 is the score of the girl, assuming that the boy scored x. But actually we know that this 2x plus 2 is actually equal to 20. So this is your equation, and from this equation you have to find out the value of x. And how do you find the value of x? That is what we will learn in this lesson. We will learn how do we find solutions of equations. That is, how do we find the values of these variables in the equation. So we will learn everything in detail. This is just the introduction part. Let's take one more example. Now, these examples actually tell you how do you make use of equations in your day-to-day life. Why do we need to learn about equations? Let's say that somebody asks you your age. Now, there are two ways of answering it. You can directly tell your age, or you can tell your age in an indirect manner, in the form of a puzzle, right? Let's say that you tell the person something like this, that my father is 49 years old. So the father's age is 49 years, and I am 4 years, and my father is 4 years older than 3 times my age. So that's a puzzle, right? So you mean to say that your father is 4 years older than 3 times your age, and your father's age is 49. So your friend needs to guess your age. So what would be the equation? So the best thing to do is let your friend assume that your age is x. So assuming your age is x, what would be your father's age? So assuming your age is x, your father's age would be 3 times your age plus 4. That's what I said, right? 3 times your age plus 4 is the father's age. But actually, what is the father's age? Father's age is 49. So 3x plus 4 is equal to 49 would be the equation. So you see, in these kind of scenarios in day-to-day life, where you come across problems, where you know certain things, where you know certain relations. For example, here you knew the relation between the father's age and the son's age. So you knew those, those relations, but you do not really know the values. Here you know the father's age, but you do not know the son's age. But you know the relationship between the father's age and the son's age. So you come across many such problems in your day-to-day life, and simple equations help you to find solutions to these problems. So now what do we understand by an equation? So let's start from the very basics. So equation is a statement of equality. Equation. So the first part of the term itself calls equate. That means something which equalize two things. So it is a statement of equality between two mathematical expressions containing one or more variables. So I'm sure all of you understand what are mathematical expressions. Now, mathematical expressions are those expressions which contain constants like numbers, maybe 1, 2, 5, 60. So these are all constants. They also consist of variables. Now, variables are those values which are represented by alphabets. For example, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, P, Q, R. These are all variables. And the mathematical expressions also contain the operators like plus, minus, multiply, divide. So all of these together make the mathematical expressions. So I'll give you some examples of mathematical expression. For example, 3x minus 12. So it has constants 3, 12. It has a variable x. It has an operator minus. So 3x minus 12 is a mathematical expression. Now when you have two such mathematical expression with an equality sign in between, so you put an equal sign and you have another mathematical expression. Now that other mathematical expression could also be only a constant, or it could also be only a variable, something like this, or it could even be something like this. So these are all examples of equation. So for any equation, the only criteria is that an equality sign has to be there, and there has to be two mathematical expressions involved. For example, 2x plus 9 by 2 is equal to 5y. This is an example of an equation because you have the equality sign which says that whatever you see on this side and whatever you see on this side, they are equal. Now, again, it is not necessary that an equation can have only one variable. It can have one or more variables. For example, here you have two variables, x and y. Similarly, you can even have more than two variables. For example, a plus 3b is equal to 5c. So here you have three variables involved. Something like this, where you just have one variable involved, that is also an equation. So all of these are examples of equation. Now, thank you.
Okay, dear student, in the video we have learned about algebraic expressions and equation. In short, we can say an equation is a condition on a variable. The condition is that two expressions should have equal value. Note that at least one of the two expressions must contain the variables. We also note a simple and useful property of equation. The equation 65 is equal to 4x plus 50. You can write it in another way, 4x plus 50 is equal to 65. If you change the value or expressions which are right on the left and right, then the equation remain same. Here left side is 65 and right side 4x plus 50. Both are equal. If you write it in on this side and 65 on this side, then no, there is no change in equation. An equation remain the same when the expression on the left and on the right are interchanged. This property is often useful in solving equations. Now write the following statement in the form of equations. The sum of 3 times x and 11 is 32. So 3x plus 11 is equal to 32. It is in the form of equations. Another example, if you subtract if you subtract 5 from 6 times 6 times a number, you get 7. What will you write in this statement in equation form? If you subtract 5 from 6 times of x, 6 times of a number, what a number? At a place of a number we choose any variable, so 6 times of that variable is what? 6y. And you subtract 5 from 6 times of a number, so 6y minus 5 is equal to what? You get 7. Now 1/4 of m is 3. 1 1/4 of m is 3 more than 1/4 of m is 3 more than 7. what will you write it in equation form? So 1/4 of m is what? 1/4 of m is what? Is m upon 4, and it is greater than 7/3. It is greater than 7/3. This means m upon 4 minus 7 is 3. So we can write m upon 4 minus 7 is equal to 3. Okay. One third of a number plus 5 is 8. So 1/3 of a number is what? M upon 3 plus 5 is equal to what? 8. M upon 3 plus 5 is equal to what? 8. 1/3 of a number plus 5 is 8. So we choose that number is m. So 1/3 of m is m upon 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. It is in equation form. Equation. Now convert the following equation in statement form. First equation is here, x minus 5 is equal to 9. So here we subtract 5 from x, which is 9. So we can write in statement form, taking away 5 from x gives 9. Second question is here, 5p is equal to 20. Here what is 5p? 5p is a product of 5 and p. We can say it 5 times of a number p. 5 times of a number p is 20. It is in statement form. It is equation. Third, 3n plus 7 is equal to 1. So we can write it in statement form. Add 7 to 3 times. Add 7 to 3 times n. Add 7 to 3 times n to get, add 7 to 3 times n to get 1. Okay. Last expression is here, m upon 2 minus 2 is equal to 6. You get 6 when you subtract. Statement is what? You get 6 when you subtract 2 from 1 half of m. You will get 6 when you subtract 2 from half of m. ये कह सकते हैं, या फिर हम लोग ये कह सकते हैं, subtraction of 2 from half of m is 6. Okay, so we have learned equation in statement form and a statement which is in equation form. Now consider consider the following situation. Here an example: Raju's father's age is 5 years more than 3 times Raju's age. It is given that Raju's father's age is 5 years more than 3 times 3 times 3 times Raju's age. Raju's father is 44 years 44 years old. Set up an equation to find Raju's age. Okay, so first let's see the condition. Condition is that Raju's father's age is 5 years more than 3 times Raju's age. Let Raju's age is what? X years. So 3 times of 3 times of Raju's age is 3x. And what is given here? Raju's father's age is 44 years old. Raju's father is 44 years old. Means age of Raju's father is equal to 44 years, and condition is given that Raju's father age is 5 years more than 3 times Raju's age. So 3 times of Raju's age is 3x. So 3x plus 5 is equal to what? 44. 44 is what? Raju's father age, and it is given that the Raju's father age is 5 years more than the 3 times of the Raju's age. So it is in equation form. Okay, dear student, I have a word problem for you. A shopkeeper sells mangoes in two types of box. One is small and one large. A large box contains as many as 8 small boxes plus 4 loose mangoes. Set up an equation which gives the number of mangoes in each small box. The number of mangoes in a large box is given to be 100. Let a small box contain m mangoes. A large box contain 4. A large box contain 4 more than 8 times 4 more than 8 times m, that is 8m plus 4. It is given, but this is given to be 100, but this is given to be 100 that the large box contain 100 mangoes. So 8m plus 4 is equal to what? It is in equation form. Here variable is m, and there are two sides. Let us study about parts of equation. Parts of equation. Let 3x plus 4 is equal to 12 is an equation. This side is known as right hand side, and this is known as left hand side, and this is called equal sign. What is the solution of equation? What is the solution of an equation? It will be homework for you. Find what is the solution of an equation. Tomorrow we will discuss about solution of equation and how to find solution of equation. Thank you, student.